Let's talk about artificial intelligence. You know, the technology that feels like it's going to solve pretty much all of humanity's biggest problems. But there's a catch. Behind all that incredible promise, there's a cost that's growing like crazy, and it's not measured in dollars. It's measured in watts, a massive kind of hidden hunger for energy. I want to start with just one number, 2%. Get this. Back in 2022, AI data centers were already eating up 2% of the entire world's electricity. That's about the same amount of power used by a small country. And the thing is, that was years ago. This is just the beginning. And this brings us to this huge, weird paradox, right? We're building AI to do amazing things, like help us fight climate change. But what if the tool we're building actually becomes a major part of the problem? Could its own environmental footprint cancel out all the good it's supposed to do? That is the double-edged sword we're going to dig into. Okay, so first, let's look at the bright side. Let's focus on the promise. Because make no mistake, AI really is a catalyst for human progress, and it's already changing our world in some absolutely mind-blowing ways. I mean, the applications are just wild. You're talking about healthcare, where AI can spot diseases earlier than a human doctor can. It's the engine behind self-driving cars and smarter cities. And here's the big one for our conversation. It's helping us manage renewable energy grids way more efficiently. It's just, the potential is everywhere, and it's seriously breathtaking. But here's the other side of that coin. All of that amazing potential comes with a price tag, a hidden and skyrocketing energy cost. So now, let's try to wrap our heads around just how big this problem actually is. So where is all this energy going? It's being fed into these things called data centers. The best way to think of them is like these giant, power-hungry factories for the digital world. Just massive buildings packed with thousands and thousands of servers, all running 24/7 to power the AI models that you and I are starting to use every single day. So how much more power are we talking about? Well, the difference is kind of shocking. A single, complex question you ask a generative AI can use up to 10 times more electricity than a simple Google search. Yeah, that means every single prompt we type into that little box has a real physical energy cost attached to it. And you know, that's just for using the models. What about creating them in the first place? Training one of these big language models, like a GPT-4, takes as much electricity as 130 American homes use in an entire year. That's a staggering amount of energy, and that's all before the model has answered a single question. And it's not just about electricity either. All those servers running full tilt generate a ton of heat. To keep them from melting, they need a constant river of water for cooling. The projections are pretty wild. By 2027, AI's thirst could hit up to 6 billion cubic meters of water a year. That puts a huge strain on a resource we can't live without, especially in places that are already running dry. Okay, and this is where the growth curve gets genuinely alarming. We started at 2% in 2022. By 2026, just a couple of years from now, AI could be using as much power as the entire country of Japan. And then, by 2035, it could be responsible for 20%, a fifth of all electricity used on the planet. I mean, that's an unsustainable path, period. Which brings us right back to that central conflict. How can AI be this incredible tool for solving our biggest problems and at the same time become a massive new problem all on its own? It really is the perfect definition of a double-edged sword. And you can just see the paradox laid out so clearly right here. On one side, it's a key part of the solution, optimizing grids, modeling climate change. But on the other side, it's a growing part of the problem, the massive energy footprint, the emissions, the strain on resources. The huge question is, which side of this is going to win out in the end? But here's the good news. This future is not written in stone. It's not inevitable. We can still choose which edge of that sword we want to sharpen. There are very clear paths to a greener, more sustainable AI if we actually decide to walk down them. So what does that roadmap look like? Well, it pretty much boils down to a 4-part game plan. First, we need more efficient hardware, better chips. Second, we need to be smarter about how we build these things. Optimizing the code and reusing models instead of starting from scratch. Third, and this is a big one, we have to power these data centers with clean energy, like solar and wind. And finally, we need good policies that demand transparency and actually reward companies for going green. We got to do all 4. So ultimately, this all comes down to a series of choices.
The AI future we're going to get isn't just going to happen to us. It's going to be the direct result of the decisions that we all make, starting right now. The power really is in our hands.
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it all. The stakes here are just so much higher than kilowatt hours on a utility bill. This is about making sure that the growth of our most powerful technology ever is aligned with our own survival. It's as simple and as serious as that.
So let's just boil it down one last time. What are the key takeaways? Number 1, AI's potential is huge, but its appetite for energy is just as big. 2, this environmental cost isn't some fuzzy far-off idea. It's real, we can measure it, and it is growing fast. But 3, and this is the most important one, a sustainable path is absolutely possible. We have the tools. It just takes better tech, cleaner energy, and smarter policies. The choices we make today will define AI's impact tomorrow.
Which really just leaves one final question. Because it doesn't matter if you're a developer, coding the next big thing, a policymaker, writing the rules, or just someone using this technology, you have a role to play in this. The path that AI takes from here depends on all of us. So, what choice are you going to make?